What I'm about to say may surprise you, but more likely than not, it won't come as any surprise whatsoever. People with ADHD tend to gravitate towards living by themselves. And this is at all stages of life. This is even when they're married or have families and kids. The more successful and affluent people with ADHD that I work with that are in that later stage of life, that might have their kids in their, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, in their teens, whatever. Those parents with ADHD may have their own separate home and still be in the relationship, still be absolutely married, but separate homes that they can clearly afford to have. Now, why might they do that? What's the value in that? Or rather, that seems pretty extravagant. It seems like it would put a bit of a strain on relationships or the family or a few other things. So how can it be justified? How can these people do it, and why do they? Well, on a certain level, they kind of have to. For many of us with ADHD, we sometimes have to live alone. No matter how much we might love the other people in our lives or our partner or whatever, we generally need our own space. Now, you may not be someone who needs their own house, but you definitely need your own room, your own space, your own area. Probably the most amount of space that you can get away with taking that won't take away from other people is the amount that you want and that you would benefit from. Because having a particular space that's yours and only yours that no one else can go into or use or mess with lets you lay things out the way that you need, the way that I might need. And the way that I might need to arrange my environment, and of course my home directly supports and influences my life and my lifestyle. So the structures and systems that I can put in my home into my surroundings directly impacts the life and the quality of life, or even my ability to show up for my life at all sometimes. For example, I might need to prepare a lot of my things for the next day by really spreading them out, and maybe I need to use the entire kitchen table to just get all my different bits of piles together to know this is for that and this is that and this is this. Now that doesn't maybe accommodate for anyone else to use that space as well. Maybe that's not something I'm capable of really fitting in to the way that I've structured things, because I'm just trying to get the things that I need together. And when it's so noisy in here and there's so much that I have to try and sort through and put in the correct way, just so that I can show up for my own life each day, try as I might, it can be really hard to be considerate. Not the right word, because I do really care and I do consider others, but there's just so much happening that I need to get right for me. It's hard to make space for also adding on top of that noise what's going to also be necessary for other people, which is a bit of an unknown. I don't know what other people might always want or need. So it can be helpful to have my own space where I don't even need to be concerned with those thoughts. And if I have things in a really particular way, the way that I need, and then someone else comes along and they tidy, or they put their stuff in the way of my things, that can be really debilitating. Putting some of your belongings on my pile that's my structure of things that I need for my next day. You just put your stuff on top of that. Maybe you just put your coat down there because you didn't know where else to put it. I'm very likely not going to remember that I had a pile of things there if I can't see it. So you harmlessly doing an action like that might really, really radically impair my ability to just impair my day. And then often I'll get resentful. And often that will get directed at you or the person who did that, and that's not fair, and I know it as well. It creates a lot of tension. A lot of things don't go right for me, and it creates tension that I don't want either, and the other person sure as hell, they don't want it either. So, a few niche examples here and a few specific cases for why people with ADHD may tend to live alone or gravitate towards it. But what's the point of this? Why is this a relevant thing to be sharing at all? Well, as it so often comes down to in a lot of my videos, permission. Giving you permission, if you're someone like that, to go, hey, actually, yeah, I do need my own space. I do need to be able to live alone. That's why I led with that strong example of people who are married happily, having separate homes. That's an extreme example. I have multiple clients, multiple ADHD clients who have a setup like that. They have a configuration like that. It didn't even occur to me, and it's certainly nothing that I recommended. These are full-grown adults who came to me saying, hey, this is this weird thing that I do, I bet you've never heard of it, and now I can say, actually, I've got a few people that do that. Clearly, it's a thing that we might need. Isn't that wild? So giving you permission, perhaps. Maybe the people in your life or your loved ones or your partner or family are giving you a hard time for wanting a bit of space even. Or even considering the thought, maybe you never allowed yourself to. Maybe you felt too guilty. But maybe you have every right to think that way. Maybe you do know what you need. Maybe you should be allowed to explore that and see if it's right for you and your dynamic or not. But at least having the chance to try and see. So that's the intention behind this video in terms of what I'm hoping you might take from it and be able to apply, is the permission to explore what might be right for you and putting it into practice. Or not, but at least you'll have had the thought. Okay? As always, thank you for making it this far into the video. We are drawing to a close, and it would be remiss of me to not say at this point, I would really love to hear from you. I'd love to hear in the comments. Please connect. If there's anything you'd like me to talk about in future videos, or just in general, please let me know. Pretty likely I'll make a video on it if the topic, I'll just say, is good enough. Wrong language, but if it resonates, which it likely will. I've made quite a few videos lately based on some comments that people have made in previous videos. So if you want me to talk about something in particular, you want to hear my take on my stance or some value or some tips, write me a comment, please. I would love that. And if you're not already and you want to hear more videos from me, I make a new YouTube video every single day. If you'd like to see what I talk about tomorrow and how I discuss it, hit that subscribe video, hit that subscribe button, and I will see you in the next video.